Last night was a disaster for so many. For women, for children, for hardworking immigrants, for the healthcare system, for employment, for science, for journalism, for justice, for freedom of speech. It was bleak for the poor, the middle class, retirees, allies in Ukraine, NATO, truth, democracy, and decency. It was unenviable for those who voted against him and for those who voted for him, though the latter don't realize it yet. Jimmy Kimmel struts onto the stage, beaming as if he's just hit the jackpot. The audience anticipates something spectacular, because this time his jokes promise to be truly sensational. And then, he delivers a devastating blow, unleashing a torrent of merciless criticism upon the former president. Subscribing to the channel unlocks access to even more videos like this. This time, Donald Trump Jr. is in the crosshairs, and the internet is already buzzing. But it's not the joke itself that's stirring up the wave, but what lies beneath it. Jimmy Kimmel didn't just poke fun at Trump Jr. He exposed what the Trump family would have preferred to keep hidden. Thus begins another chapter in the unending feud between Trump and Kimmel. A Twitter explosion, secret relationships, a family trying to keep the situation under control, and a former president watching the unfolding chaos. Get ready, it's going to be hot. Have you ever wondered what will happen if he is actually found guilty? If he is convicted, yes, I have thought about it, I dream about it. I really hope it happens. I don't know what we'll talk about, it will be hard to go back to discussing American Idol, but I have a plan. A plan in case he is convicted? I would like you to participate in this too. Imagine a scenario. Donald Trump, facing a guilty verdict, is sent to serve his sentence in a correctional facility, like Rikers Island. At that moment, an individual hatches a plan to commit an offense within 3 states in order to be incarcerated alongside the former president. The goal is to influence his mental state, to drive him to the brink of madness from within the prison system. Picture daily comedic performances where Trump is the main target of the jokes. Recall old video clips featuring him, played on a phone to remind him of past statements and actions. In this setting, Jimmy Kimmel, the late-night show host, begins his monologue as usual with jokes about politics and the news. But suddenly, he pauses, smirks, and leans into the microphone. The audience anticipates something sharp and provocative. And then, like a bolt from the blue, he quips that Donald Trump Jr. seems to have taken up environmentalism, but not in a way his father would approve. An eruption of laughter, surprised gasps, and even whistles of shock. The hall is in an uproar. This is a case where the joke hits its mark because it contains a grain of truth. Instantly, Twitter is flooded with reactions. Memes are born, hashtags gain popularity, and conservative pundits try to find justifications. Inside the Mar-a-Lago estate, the Trump team frantically tries to minimize the damage. Donald Trump Jr. becomes a trending topic, but not in the context he would have liked. Somewhere backstage, Jimmy Kimmel is probably smirking, knowing that he has just added fuel to an already raging fire. A tense atmosphere reigns at Mar-a-Lago. Reports indicate that Trump is pacing back and forth, phone in hand, fuming as if ready to unleash the most unhinged tirade of the week. And then it happens. His fingers begin to type, and within seconds, a furious, typo-ridden tweet explodes across the internet. Jimmy Kimmel is a total lowlife. Nobody watches his failing show. A sad rating disaster. A disgrace to television. I just got a review. Was there ever a worse host than Jimmy Kimmel at the Academy Awards? The host's opening felt like a normal person trying to act like someone he's not and never will be. Get rid of Kimmel and perhaps replace him with another washed-up but cheap ABC talent. Who do you think? What former president just posted that on Truth? Yes, thank you, President Trump. Thank you for watching. I'm surprised you're not in jail yet. The post had everything. Misspellings, random capitalizations, and way too many exclamation points. Within minutes, Twitter did what it does best. Screenshotted, memed, and turned it into comedic gold. One user even corrected Trump's grammar like a high school teacher. But then something strange happened. Some of the tweets started disappearing. Were his advisors begging him to stop? Was he regretting it? Probably not. Either way, the damage was done. Kimmel had gotten under his skin again. Kimmel's joke wasn't just a good one-liner. It was a key, and the internet, ever hungry for drama, quickly connected the dots. It turns out that Donald Trump Jr.'s new sweetheart is not just a socialite, but also a prominent environmental activist. The son of a man who called climate change a hoax is now dating a woman who fights against his family's policies. The irony is striking. A heated discussion has unfolded on Twitter. Some conservatives have taken it with humor, calling it a fleeting infatuation, while others are less forgiving. MAGA supporters expressed outrage, accusing Don Jr. of weakness. Is it true love or a desperate PR stunt? It remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. This scandal came as a surprise to Trump's inner circle. For a family accustomed to control, this is a nightmare that cannot simply be silenced on Twitter. Usually, the members of the Trump family rally around him like participants in a reality show, defending their brand. But this time, their silence is deafening. Ivanka and Jared are nowhere to be seen. No carefully crafted Instagram posts, no hints of support. Are they finally distancing themselves from the chaos? It's important to remember that Trump is running for president not only for power but also to avoid prison. And that's a very strong motive. The pursuit of freedom has become a real race for him. Now, with the future of democracy at stake, many are taking defensive positions, and for good reason. Take, for example, Donald Trump's recent statements about the possibility of arresting his political opponents. He pressured Disney and expressed the need to revoke CBS's license because of how they presented him on 60 Minutes. When asked how his current activities might change if Trump is re-elected, he replied that he did not intend to change anything. He expressed concern that persecuting people for criticism is contrary to American values. Interestingly, Eric Trump, who usually actively defends his father, is silent this time. His wife, Laura, is rumored to be pursuing more ambitious plans. She is lobbying Florida Governor Dan DeSantis for a Senate seat, which speaks to her priority of her own political career over her role as a family representative. Donald Trump Jr. was expected to react strongly on Twitter, but he preferred to remain silent. Perhaps he is busy explaining his new relationship to his father or has been instructed not to draw attention to himself. In any case, something seems amiss. The Trump dynasty, once seemingly unshakable, looks more divided than ever. If Trump thought his Twitter tirade would end this feud, he clearly underestimated his opponent. Jimmy Kimmel wasn't going to stop and took to the stage of his show the very next night, wasting no time. Trump is furious, folks. He called me a disgrace to television, which is especially funny coming from a man who hosted The Apprentice and said, "You're fired," like he was quoting Shakespeare, Kimmel said, drawing thunderous applause from the audience and continuing to land blows. He compared Trump's anger to a child's tantrum in a store, noting how he waves his arms and shouts nonsense while his exhausted advisors, like parents, desperately try to calm him down. Then came the final blow. I don't know what's funnier, Trump's tweets or his confidence that deleting them makes them disappear. The audience is thrilled, Twitter explodes, hashtags become trends, and just like that, Kimmel prevails again. If this were a boxing match, the judges would unanimously award the victory to Kimmel. He lands blow after blow, while Trump flails wildly, misses, and becomes the object of ridicule in real time. The engagement numbers don't lie. Kimmel's jokes get 300% more responses than Trump's angry rants. Kimmel's videos get millions of views, while Trump's all-caps tweets are drowned in a flood of memes. Speaking of which, the internet did not stand aside. From Commander Caps Lock to Commander in Tweet, social media threw a real party. Screenshots of Trump's deleted tweets garnered more attention than the original tirades. Even old videos of Trump mocking whiny comedians resurfaced, sparking a wave of irony. Then the poll results came in. A small but noticeable decline in Trump's approval rating hinted at something bigger. Humor is not just entertainment, it's influence. People weren't just laughing. They were thinking, and that's what Trump hates most. The controversy has reached the scale of a Hollywood blockbuster, attracting the attention of celebrities. Sarah Silverman, Stephen Colbert, and even longtime late-night rivals couldn't stay on the sidelines. Thor are quipped ironically, Fallon offered gentle criticism, and Silverman bluntly labeled Trump the most insecure heckler in the world. In an unexpected twist, a right-wing figure supported Kimmel. The prominent conservative figure stated that Trump should be less sensitive and stop complaining about late-night jokes. Even Trump supporters began to wonder, if he's so bothered by comedians, what does that say about his leadership? The media enthusiastically covered the conflict. Every news channel, from CNN to Fox, analyzed every aspect of the controversy. Newspaper headlines questioned whether Trump was losing control, while late-night hosts turned the situation into a ratings spectacle. It became clear that Trump had taken the bait, and Kimmel was watching the unfolding chaos, delivering joke after joke. Trump's attacks on comedians are nothing new. SNL, Seth Meyers, Stephen Colbert. He's tried to silence them all, but to no avail. Every time he loses his temper, a joke turns into a sensation, a harmless jab into a viral phenomenon, and a late-night monologue into a large-scale cultural event. The truth is, Donald Trump had no good reason to get into any of this trouble. If he had simply paid Stormy Daniels $130,000 from his own funds, whether from savings or personal income, he wouldn't have had any problems in New York. Many of his legal troubles stem from rash actions. If he hadn't called Georgia state authorities asking them to find 11,000 votes, he wouldn't have had any problems in Georgia. If he had simply tweeted a call for calm and a return home a few hours earlier, as everyone, including his daughters, advised, he wouldn't have had any problems on January 6th. And if he hadn't removed personal correspondence with the leaders of Saudi Arabia and Kim Jong-un from the White House and stored them at his Mar-a-Lago residence, he wouldn't have had any problems with the FBI. In each episode of his misadventures, the same pattern emerges. He's like the most short-sighted criminal in the world, digging his own grave. He's no Al Capone, quite the opposite. And the situation with Kimmel once again confirms this sad fact. His angry tweets not only failed to silence the jokes, but, on the contrary, amplified their effect. The more he raged, the louder the laughter. The more he tweeted, the more the internet filled with memes. In the end, he only confirmed Kimmel's point. He has absolutely no sense of humor. Meanwhile, Kimmel's ratings skyrocketed, audience engagement soared, and his jokes became a kind of currency in the online space. In comedy, the last laugh isn't just a successful ending, it's real power. And this time, Kimmel didn't just laugh last, he completely took over the stage. This wasn't just another celebrity feud, but a masterclass in how humor shapes public opinion. Trump has always relied on being the loudest voice in the crowd, but Kimmel reminded everyone that the sharpest microphone will always cut through the noise. Trump can tweet all he wants, but Kimmel's jokes will outlive any of his angry tirades that he later deletes. After all, a tantrum passes, but a good joke stays in the memory forever. Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. More videos are already on the screen. Your opinion is extremely important to us. Feel free to share your impressions in the comments below. If you enjoyed this material, don't forget to like it, which will motivate us to create even more interesting videos. And, of course, subscribe to the channel to always be aware of the latest updates and new products that are already waiting for you on the screen.